Sonny Boy is an anime I think most people skipped over last season, since shows that use abstract storytelling tend to get a bad rep, leading for many perfectly good shows to be held captive in pretentious subreddits, burying their actual meaning in countless overinterpretations. But today, I am staging a rescue mission, an attempt to retake the anime known as Sonny Boy, since I have a dream that one day Sonny Boy can flourish alongside Steins Gate as a mainstream anime for annoying people. To do this, we first need to align the masses with what makes Sonny Boy so great. Sonny Boy throws you into a bizarre scenario without context. A bunch of high schoolers have gone adrift in a black void of nothingness for weeks. With no adults or instructions to guide them, they are forced to grow up, attempt to create their own form of order in a chaotic world. Yeah, so this is pretty much a Lord of the Flies scenario. Except this time some of the kids have superpowers, which, as you can imagine, makes some of the more troublesome kids less likely to cooperate. Like Billy was already being annoying in class. You think giving him the literal power to control space itself is going to make him a functioning member of society? And this is all in episode 1, with things only getting crazier as the plot progresses. However, the show's premise really isn't its focal point. Every episode is structured in a way where they feel almost unrelated to the last. Sometimes months or even years have gone by off screen, meaning that we are often not on the same page as the characters. Like seriously, at one point the show's a Hunter x Hunter moment where the scale of the world becomes infinitely bigger without any warning. This whole time though, we are being guided through the world by this masterpiece of a soundtrack, which goes from psychedelic songs for the more what the fuck moments, to then these fucking jungle jams, bro, that make you feel like it's summer holidays. And of course you got the more melancholic beats when it's like more of a Monday kind of vibe.
Rather be light again, let me see the light again. All I need is love.
Only for Sonny Boy to say fuck that and hit you with this. Even if you aren't going to watch the show, just go listen to the OST on YouTube. It's generally one of the best soundtracks to come out of anime in a while. Anyway, the writers are only able to have such drastic narrative changes because of the lack of continuity present in Sonny Boy, which means they can go from an episode exploring the reality of privilege and power in one episode, and then have the next episode be about invisible monkeys playing baseball. Yes, I repeat myself, invisible monkeys playing baseball. This disconnect Sonny Boy creates with its audience means that it's up to us to try to put the weirdly shaped pieces together. Why are they here? Why them? Can they go home? Why did I shit my pants in year 7? All these questions are originally your motivation to keep watching, only for Sonny Boy to offhandedly have them all answered. The most unsatisfying answer of all, it doesn't matter. Sonny Boy is an overwhelming sense of nihilism present in every aspect of the show. So before you get your hopes up, spoiler alert, but the payoff to most of its mysteries feel pretty unsatisfying, with the show either leading up to interpretation or using the explanation of it was just chance. But where the show isn't afraid of explaining is its characters, especially the main character Nagara, who we first see purposely keeping his distance from others, as due to past experiences, he has taught himself to evade situations that make him feel uncomfortable. This in return frees him of the burden of action. However, it creates safety that comes at the cost of Nagara having to suppress all his desires, since he can never truly do what he wants, and is now forced to be content with his situation, causing him to become indifferent to life. As without challenge, we cannot change. Without change, we're essentially stuck in stasis. Nagara's safety net is then pulled out from underneath him when he goes adrift. No longer having any place to run to, he is reluctantly forced to interact with his classmates. In particular, Nozomi, one like Nagara, is constantly pushing for what she wants, as she is not someone who's content with being bound by someone else's rules. So when she's told by God she can't go home, she obviously isn't going to accept that, and begins looking for a way back to her world with the help of Nagara. Nozomi's constant attempts to push Nagara out of his comfort zone whenever he retreats leads to his whatever happens happens mentality slowly falling apart. But sometimes people just need to be forced to change, whether that be by a friend or by a supernatural being. I know your pick. Through their journey to return home, Nagara begins to learn to care about what's happening around him, and actually confronts his situation instead of just accepting it, which leads him to make friends and form deep connections, to the point where for the first time in his life, he has people who will actually look for him when he tries to run away. One of these people being Mizuho, who has the power to spawn whatever material possession she wants, which I thought was just being called a woman, alright fellas? Dude, come on, that was a good one, man. And the other being Rajdani, who serves the typical scientist role for the class. Yet his personality dismantles all the stereotypes that would be associated with a character like this, making him most of the fandom's favourite character due to how likeable he is. He's also probably the first proper Indian character to ever appear in anime, so congratulations dude. There's so many other characters we meet in Sonny Boy that I haven't even mentioned yet. Characters like Hoshi, Pony, Cap, and Asakaze all have just as interesting arcs as Nagara's, which you'll learn about in 12 episodes, man. 12! Naruto has 720 in total, and yet I can't tell you shit about half of his friends. Take Ace for example. He's a side character who has 15 minutes of screen time in the whole show. In those 15 minutes, we learned that he was a baseball prodigy, who in school was on track to play professionally one day, only to find himself in a new world where baseball doesn't exist and people have superpowers, making his only talent pretty much meaningless. To add insult to injury, the power he gets stuck with is the ability to make dirty water drinkable, which I don't know, maybe if you do a lot of camping could be useful, but in a world where people can do shit like shoot electricity, Not really, man. So yeah, he's not really having a good time. But anyway, I haven't even talked about the greater meaning of this episode. It's actually commentary on how civilizations and communities will often feign neutrality in order to appear meritocratic. Oh, and the monkeys, dude! Sonny Boy is by far one of the most unique and imaginative shows I've seen in a while. The amount of creativity and passion packed into every aspect of the art, music, and storytelling is insane. And I honestly really love this show, man. I know it's not perfect, in fact, far from it. I've been praising it for how fearless it is in its non-linear structure, but it does get ahead of itself at times. Sonny Boy has this bad habit of having characters go on long and wordy monologues that feel intentionally vague, yet the characters react in ways where they're supposed to be like, "Oh, now it all makes sense." Like, bitch, no it doesn't, alright? Though if you can just be comfortable with sitting down and watching something that you aren't going to completely understand, then you will find something really special at the core of Sonny Boy. And hey, if you're a bit of a Matt Pat who likes to analyze shit, then there's a bunch of video essays and stuff online to watch later. But I think the creator and showrunner Shingo Natsume said it best. Sonny Boy is a simple story, about a boy growing up and people drifting apart. Behind all the existentialism and confusing metaphors, it's just a story about a boy trying to change. Like bro, there's a reason I haven't said the word theme once in this video, because I don't give a fuck about shit like that. To me, when I think of Sonny Boy, I remember the feeling I felt after finishing it. Sonny Boy takes us on a wonderfully absurd journey where we see worlds that are unbelievable in their design, meet characters who have deep and painful internal struggles, only for our journey to end in the most mundane and bleak way possible. By the end of it, you're not even sure if Nagara really was able to change. What we do know is that his effort was not meaningless. I think people have a pretty big misconception about change. You can't just wake up one morning and have things be different. Positive change for a lot of people happens over a very, very long time, or sometimes never at all. You may go on a crazy, otherworldly adventure, only to return home and still be the same sad, awkward teenager. That time was not wasted though. Nagara may not have been able to change the world or get his big character moment, but he was able to take the first step, a step which will eventually lead him to what he desires. He just needs to look towards the future. Episode 12 was never the ending of Nagara's story. It was just the beginning.
今目と目が合ったその瞬間からダウンロードされた全て許されたここにいてもいいから Fuck you!